Crypto.XL, where we uncover the hidden gems of the crypto market. Are you ready to discover the next big thing in investing? Get ready to embark on an exhilarating journey with us as we hunt for small-cap coins with the potential to explode. Join us as we dive deep into the world of small-cap cryptocurrencies, exploring their untapped potential and uncovering opportunities for growth that could turn your investment into a fortune. Whether you're a seasoned investor looking for the next big winner or a newcomer eager to learn the ropes, Crypto.XL is your ultimate destination for insightful analysis, expert tips, and the latest trends in the small-cap crypto market. Remember, this is not financial advice. Only invest money you can afford to lose. Don't miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Hit that subscribe button and join us on this thrilling adventure to uncover small-cap gems that could skyrocket your portfolio to new heights. Let's make 50-100x gains together.
Crypto.XL. This is not financial advice. I just wanted to ask you about something very specific for regulation, and that is Bitcoin. And I have in the past, I don't know if you recall, but I said you got to look at this closely, Mr. President. And you know the current SEC Commissioner, Gary Gensler, finally allowed for these spot ETFs, and now we see Bitcoin at almost 72,000. But it's almost as if it's in spite of some of the efforts over regulation of maybe the Biden administration. Do you have any thoughts now on crypto?
Well, it's taken its own life. You know, I do little things sometimes for fun and, make money with it and have fun with it too.
You mean you bought Bitcoin?
No, but I sometimes will let people pay through Bitcoin, or will let people get involved in a new, if you think of it, it's an additional form of currency. And I used to say, I want one currency, I want the dollar. I don't want people leaving the dollar. And I feel that way, but I will tell you, it has taken on a life. I did a thing that people smile at, but it was wild. We did 1,000 sneakers, a limited edition sneaker run. The last one, and you could go through, our crazy new currencies, because that's what I call them. They're crazy, whether it's Bitcoin or others. And so many people were buying these things. And ultimately, the last pair of sneakers sold for approximately, I hear, $450,000. It was a limited edition, a run.
Guys, just so you know, all right, to give you the backdrop of what's going on, this interview was over 2 months ago. More subsequent to that, more recent interviews and more public speaking from the candidates, in particular Trump in this case, he's been endorsing crypto, all right? So it looks like the Republicans are going to be pro-crypto and the Democrats are going to be anti-crypto. And getting closer and closer to the election, I expect the Democrats to walk back some of that anti-crypto sentiment. As we get closer to the elections in the United States, you're going to have more of a pro-crypto sentiment. And the next administration is going to be fully pro-crypto, which is going to propel the price of crypto in general to a very high level. So before the presidential election, leading into the presidential election, you're going to have a lot of stimulus packages that the American people are going to have access to. So there's going to be an influx of cash. There's going to be a lot more money, the money is going to push risk on assets to higher valuations. And that's why I've been accumulating on the dips. The dips are not scaring me because there's a 4-year monetary cycle, right? And we're right where we're supposed to be right now. So I've been accumulating and preparing for the influx and for the price acceleration that's going to be happening in the future.
They were gold. They were, nice, cute. and we thought it was just a very small thing. It was a branding thing, and had a good time with it. The last pair sold for $450,000. People were going crazy for these sneakers. You probably were too. Everybody was. I have every friend I have has called me for a pair of sneakers. So it just took off, and I noticed that so many of them were paid for with this with the new currency. And it is that it's a new cryptocurrency, and I couldn't believe the amount. And I'm saying, this thing is really, and other things I do, people are using it. And, I would be, I'm very much a traditionalist. I like staying with the dollar. You know that from one over there.
Here's another thing that you have not considered. Being that crypto in general is newer technology, the older technology does not have a choice. The older technology will be replaced by the newer technology. Newer technology that's more efficient, that's faster, always replaces the older technology, right? If the newer technology is better, okay? If it's more efficient, it will replace the older technology. Now, those who are unwilling to change will become dinosaurs. They will find out when it's too late. So change will come whether or not you want change. There will always be change. You have to be like water, as Bruce Lee would say. You have to be able to adapt. And if you're not able to adapt, you'll just be wiped out, gone with the tide, right? So the current fiat system has no choice but to assimilate with crypto, right? And they're doing what I would do in this situation. If I wanted to maintain power, I would find a way to, yes, get on the new system, but figure a way to control the new system as much as possible. But fighting directly against it is a fool's errand. It's like fighting against water, right? Water by itself in a small time frame cannot carve out the Grand Canyon. But over decades, years, and centuries, it could move mountains. So what you're seeing happening is that the fiat system and systems around the world are going to be integrated with crypto. The countries that are dynamically opposed to crypto, well, they will fall behind. And countries like El Salvador that embrace crypto early and contain a great or hold a large part of crypto and are able to control it, they will end up dominating. All right. So basically, what you're seeing happening is that the current monetary system, the fiat system, they're going to be using. They're going to come out with their own CBDCs, and they're going to want the citizens to use their CBDCs, which is that's a good angle too. But people are just going to want Bitcoin. They're going to want actual Bitcoin. That's why the ETFs are to get people to invest in the ETF and not actually own the real Bitcoin. But the most savvy amongst us would actually own the real Bitcoin. And Bitcoin is going to be used as a reserve currency, as the US dollar was backed by gold prior to Roosevelt back in the 70s. Every US dollar used to be backed by gold. So we're going to have a situation where the US dollar and other fiat currencies are going to be backed by Bitcoin. And the countries who realize this and embrace it early and acquire the most amount of Bitcoin will be countries that are going to have more economic power than the countries that didn't. You're going to have an arms race for countries to acquire Bitcoin. And once that actually kicks off and starts happening, the valuations of Bitcoin could become completely ridiculous. I believe that this is a possibility and a likelihood, and we're in the early phases of it happening. And you're going to see some things happen in this cycle that we didn't think were going to happen. So once Bitcoin starts to skyrocket, the altcoins that are connected to Bitcoin will see astronomical valuations because of all the speculation. And that's when you start getting evaluations that are not realistic, and you start getting blow off tops. So that creates a backdrop to explain why I've been acquiring during the dips. I've been acquiring during the dips because I see all of this coming. Do I know for sure? No, no one knows anything for sure. But this is where I'm placing my bets. I'm seeing the momentum build, and the momentum is building towards this. And I think it's financially irresponsible to not hold Bitcoin, or to hold some crypto, and especially Bitcoin, just in case, right? Using it as a hedge, as an insurance policy. We could see over the past 12 years or so that Bitcoin has outperformed every investment, outperformed real estate, outperformed the stock market, outperformed inflation, outperformed everything. For instance, what a car cost 12 years ago, if you would have, instead of buying that car, if you would have bought Bitcoin, you would have been a multi-millionaire now, where you could have bought 40 of those cars with the same amount of money you would have spent on the Bitcoin. That's just one example. So I think we're going to get to the point where other countries realize this, and it starts to create an avalanche, snowball effect. It cannot be ignored. In the beginning, it could be ignored, but as time continues, it becomes more pervasive. More and more people know about Bitcoin and crypto, and more people take it seriously. You can't ignore it anymore. And you have a choice: either you fight it directly and lose, because history has shown that those who fight technology directly lose, right? And another thing that's happening too, we're talking about technology, is the rise of AI, of artificial intelligence. I will also say it's important to learn how to leverage artificial intelligence to do the work for you, to do a lot of work for you. And you should start small. You don't have to be a whiz day one, but I would learn to use this AI, whether it's Change GPT or something similar, and try to figure out how can it assist you in your daily life. And the reason why is because you don't want to be left behind. And that's connected to crypto, because those who do not obtain crypto during these coming years, I know we're supposed to go to a bear market in 2026, but let me say this again: those who do not learn to use technology are going to be left behind. And you cannot have old ideas in a new economy and a new society. The old idea of go to university, come out with $100,000 debt. The debt keeps on rising, by the way, from these degrees. I'm not saying not to go to university, by the way. I'm just saying find a way to get most of it paid for through scholarship, or go to a community. Find a way to lower that bill, right? But the old idea of going to university, coming out with $100,000 in debt, then buying a car or leasing a car, and now you're $45,000 more in debt, and then renting a place that and now you have to pay that rent or mortgage every month if you were able to buy a home in a couple of years, 10 years from when you graduate. Now you're even more in debt. Now you're $500,000 in debt, and all of this debt that I mentioned, you're paying at least 5% on it. You're paying a lot more than that. 5%, 10%, 15%, car notes 16%, credit cards 24%. You'll always be in debt, and it'll be so much debt you'll never be able to pay it off. So having that and hoping to get a job to pay for that, when you're paying 50% taxes, you will never be able to pay for that. You will die owing people for your entire life with all of that hard work. So if you try to use the old way of thinking in this new way of doing things, you will be a debt slave for the rest of your life. So you have to use the technology available. You have to figure a way to make it do work for you. You have to then use that money to figure out how to acquire assets that are going to appreciate in value, like Bitcoin and like crypto. And you don't have a choice, because if you try to get these depreciating items, again, you'll just get deeper into the hole. But this video is connected to my overall thesis, because do you remember that Trump a few years ago, he was anti-crypto? and now he's pro crypto. And because of him being pro crypto, he's gonna win the election. And this is not a political channel. I'm not trying to support either candidate, right? I will say though that I will support the candidate that supports crypto. It's obvious. Why would I want them to confiscate my property? Why would I want that? It's like them coming to your home and saying, "Hey, give me your phone. I want to take your phone from you. I want your phone." I mean, no, it doesn't. It doesn't feel right, right? It doesn't feel good at all. But yeah, you're doing the right thing by watching this channel, by staying informed, and by being on the right track, because the other track you will definitely fail. This is not financial advice. This is just my personal opinion and insight. And in my opinion, I see what's coming. And what's coming is that the 80% of people, 75%, 80% of people are going to suffer, and suffer big time, because the wealth is going in the hands of the few. And it's always been that way. But because of technology, it's even skewed more over towards the few. Basically, those that own the means of production are able to get a lot more production out from their resources, right? So whereas before you would need like 100,000 people to run an operation or a multinational company, now you don't need that many. Maybe you need 1,000, right? So there's a lot of jobs that are just obsolete, and they're becoming more obsolete by the day, right? Because if you look at what ChatGPT can do now, these AI can do creative work, artistic work, intelligent work, high-level white-collar work better than the white-collar workers, better than the average white-collar worker, right? And you look at the bots that they have coming out. These bots are going to be out next year, by the way. So it's not even that far off. And these bots are the prototypes, right? These are the first generation that are going to be released to the public. These home assistant bots, these robots, these androids that could assist you in cooking, cleaning, watching your kid, teaching your kid. These are level 1, right? This is how it begins. But what you have to understand is that AI is not like humans. AI evolves way quicker than biological life. Biological life takes hundreds of thousands of years for it to really evolve, for really significant change. The AI learns from its surroundings. It's learning from us. So every year it makes these monumental leaps and increases. So 5 years from now, it could look completely different than it does now, right? So, and that's where we're headed. And if you're still on the old program of, I'm not going to change because this is how my parents taught me and this is what I've learned and it's going to be this way, you're going to be in for a really rude awakening. It's going to be shocking, right? Because you're basically going to look around and you're going to be seeing things outdo you in every aspect. And how is this all related to crypto? Well, crypto is just one of those technologies. It's just newer, right? The old banking system that we have, the SWIFT, this thing has been around for like 100 years. It's archaic. When you send a wire or you send a check, it takes weeks sometimes for it to clear. They actually credit your account before the check really clears, before it's really processed. They credit your account early because they know it takes so long. So they have no choice but to embrace crypto, embrace something newer where the transaction could happen instantaneously. Another thing that you're seeing happening is you look at the BRICS countries, and a lot of them are getting off the dollar, right? A lot of countries around the world are now transacting in other currencies. And eventually, all of these countries around the world are going to agree that they want something that they can all transact in, and they're going to turn to Bitcoin, right? It's just a matter of time. So yes, the 4-year cycle is still intact, but again, as time continues, the dominance of Bitcoin and things like Bitcoin and the changes that are about to come are going to be massive. And you want to be on the right side of that tidal wave. You don't want to be under the wave, getting crushed by the weight of the wave. You want to be riding the wave. You want to see the wave coming, getting your surfboard ready, getting in the right angle, in the right position, and letting the wave take you to Valhalla. You don't want to be fighting against the current. It's not going to work. You'll drown, right? So I just want to make sure that everybody's prepared. And yes, I have been buying the dips. It's all related to my small cap cryptocurrencies, guys. Don't worry.
Make the dollar the choice. I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar, because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war. That will be a hit to our country, just like losing a war. And we can't let that happen. And too many countries now are fighting to get off the dollar. And and frankly, and I know Jay feels strongly about this, and Jay did a fantastic job, by the way, in a group where there's always scandal and problems. Jay went through 4 years. There wasn't one scandal. I don't know, Jay, maybe you can tell me, but there wasn't one scandal. That is the most scandalous position, because it involves massive amounts of money. With Jay Clayton, we had no scandal, zero, nothing whatsoever. So I thought it was great. But I have seen there has been a lot of use of that, and I'm not sure that I'd want to take it away at this point.
So guys, you're thinking that Bitcoin's a joke and Bitcoin's a fad, and it's just something that we're going to use to get rich right now and then get out of the cycle. And well, look, yes and no, right? So I still believe in the movement of the 4-year cycle, but I think that inevitably that this thing is going to skyrocket, right? And honestly, truth be told, we should have been getting in right here at 15K. We should have been accumulating that entire bear market. And I was buying for quite some time, but we're now at 67K, right? So the risk increases when you're at 67K. But where I think this thing is headed, more than likely, we're going to wish we were at this point, like let's say 9 months from now, we're going to wish we were accumulating here. That's what I think is going to happen. It really does have the potential to completely explode. And if it does completely explode, that means that these small coins that I'm looking at, that they're going to 4x, 5x whatever Bitcoin does. And in a case like this, 10x whatever Bitcoin does, right? This thing is tiny. So speaking on VIA and the dilution, VIA, it has almost 20%, maybe like 18% of the circulating supply out. The fully diluted market cap is $45 million. VIA has a project that's coming out that they're going to be doing the pre-sale for on the 23rd. And that's Orbital 7. So Orbital 7 allows accessibility and interoperability and a use case for the Bitcoin chain, right? So this is coming out with a market cap of under 500,000. So this has a potential of doing quite well. No one could tell the future. I don't know how well it's going to do, but I know that this project is being supported by Seedify, by ChainGPT, and by other reputable market makers and companies within the crypto space, the big dogs. And I know it's coming out in Unisat, and it's supporting BRC20, supporting Bitcoin. So the chances of this doing well is quite high. It's also their first IDO, their IDO pre-sale. And I think there's a token generation event this month, actually. So it does has a lot of things going for it. So I think the potential of it doing well is pretty good. Now, there's 5 projects coming out that Octavia currently has on their launchpad. So if this one were to do well, and let's say Bitcoin holds where it is now, or it fluctuates, or it tries to go check the 71K to see if we can challenge that again. Let's say it does that. This project launches, and it does well. It does a 10x, 15x. Well, that means that the degraded price of Octavia, the beat up price of Octavia, that changes. So it could change relatively fast. So Octavia can continue to struggle right here, right? And then a couple weeks from now, Orbital 7 takes off and it flies up, and then all of a sudden the price of Octavia doubles. These are all possibilities. It's not guaranteed to happen. Or maybe what I said doesn't happen, and Octavia does all right, stays at 44 cents, it goes to 43 cents, then it goes to 57 cents, and then it fluctuates for a while. And then eventually some of these projects that are being launched start to take off, right? Because Bitcoin is still going to go up. And that means that the price of Octavia then skyrockets and goes back to all-time highs and beyond. It goes to $3 and $6 and $7, right? So then the question is, if Octavia goes to $7, are you concerned that you bought it for 42 cents or 57 cents? Does it really matter too much to you then once we start going to like $7? And I don't think it should matter that much, right? Because you still be in tremendous amounts of profit. So the way I see this is that we continue to struggle and what have you, but I really don't care, because I'm not thinking short term. I'm thinking about up here, right? I'm thinking about up here and beyond up here. So I've been accumulating VIA. I even with the token dilution, 20% of the market cap is out. This is not the real market cap, by the way. Market cap's at least double this. So 20% is out, and of the 44 million is out. Total market cap, fully diluted, is 44 million. By the end of the bull market, if the bull market ends in Q4 2025, 80% of the circulating supply will be out. So if we're at 20% and then 80% comes out, that's another 4x from now. So I would say 1/4 of the supply is out, right? So there's still a lot of dilution, ton of dilution coming. So this right here, what I'm doing is a high risk, high reward play, because the way I look at it, right, if 45 million is a fully diluted market cap, and I'm saying 80% of it, so 80% of 40 million is somewhere, let's say 36 million. I'm just being rough here, 36 million. So I'm buying something that has a 36 million market cap, fully diluted, right? The full dilution in the bull market. And the chances of it going from 36 million to 360 million in a worst case scenario is pretty high. So that's at least a 10x from here. So that's at least at 10 times my money, right? So I'm willing to take the strategic gamble or the risk to invest in a project that will probably at least go 10 times my money. I expect it to do a lot more than that. But if it goes 10 times my money, that's fine, because I'm really going to be making money from the pre-sales and IDOs. My objective with Octavia is to make money from the pre-sales and IDOs and not the initial investment in Octavia. So the more this goes down for me is actually better for me, because that's how I see it, because it's going to go up anyway. In the way I see things is like I'm looking into the future. So it's going to go up and beat all-time highs anyway. So I'll just acquire more, which will give me a higher tier, which will give me a higher allocation in my pre-sales and IDOs, which eventually I'm going to hit IDOs and pre-sales that are going 50x, 70x. Hypothetically, that's what I think is going to happen. I don't know for sure, right? No one knows for sure. But I'm willing to take that bet, and I'm willing to gamble with my funds and do a strategic gamble because of how other IDO launch pads have performed in the prior bull market. That's what I expect to happen in this bull market. So that's Octavia, right? Do keep in mind that I'm a big supporter of DexCheck. DexCheck is one of my main bags, and I have been accumulating this for a very long time. The price came back down, and I'm not upset about it. I'm actually trying to get more DexCheck. They have 3 projects right now that are in their silos that are about to launch. Very, very big projects. Earn is going to completely destroy it. Sulfon, you can get a node and get free crypto from your nodes. And you have a secret project. The last secret project that came out was GTAI, and that did a 34x of the highs, right? So again, when I accumulate my launch pads, I don't accumulate them up here at all-time highs. I accumulate them down here when it's boring, when it's red, and when no one wants the project, and then people don't know what it is. That's when I'm accumulating, and I'm not going to wait for the market to support my idea. When the market supports my idea, it's too late. I don't want to buy Octavia for $3 each, because how much Octavia am I going to be able to get? I'm not going to get a high tier. I'd rather accumulate down here and get Emerald Elite, or some really high tier than accumulate up here and go bronze, right? I don't want to do that. I'll accumulate right here and take because they're both risky, right? It's risky buying here and it's risky buying here. But guess what you don't consider? It's actually more risky buying here. Very risky buying here. Because when you're up here, when you're high up, you have a longer distance to fall, right? But that's my current plan, guys. I'm going to get going, but again,
This is not financial advice. Only invest money you can afford to lose. Don't miss out on the opportunity of a lifetime. Hit that subscribe button and join us on this thrilling adventure to uncover small cap gems that could skyrocket your portfolio to new heights. Let's make 50-100x gains together.